Hello, everyone, and if you've been paying attention to this weekend, there's more than one ways to assess someone's health. Um, of course, you learn this in first aid. I've been processing more than a few things, even in my disheveled state. Of again, the history of propaganda has to do with the hijacking of the human psyche um, for a multitude of different reasons, and the corruption of procreation. And I say, psychedelics have been used in shamanistic rituals for eons. Our relationship with psychedelics is the stoned ape theory. Now, we went headlong into the void, like North America. And this is frankly why other countries feel the need to intervene. If you're going to sympathize or understand the opponent, say like China right now, and why they would want to pursue being a world superpower. The thing is about power is that if you have true power, you don't need to be obnoxious. It just is. The physical reality as we understand it, like this is what we perceive it to be, is temporal. Scientists go by dimensions in theoretical physics, trying to figure out what the building blocks are. And why do the building blocks keep getting smaller and smaller? It's because scale is relative. Time and scale is relative, as is the expansion and compression of this bubble that we exist in. As is below, so is above, of the highest order. You learn a lot of different things from drugs, because if you're not learning anything from them, then you shouldn't be doing them. And there is absolutely a threshold of sanity. Now, sleep deprivation is torture. It's torture. And as someone that has been processing a lot of information, which then induces, insomnia and, signs of PTSD or other mental health issues, the problem arises because the treatment isn't exactly available. Here we are again. I was poisoned. I went in. And I'm pure again. Because that would be the motivation, is that the other person on the other side of the chessboard thinks that you need the lesson. So what I have here are two pamphlets from the social worker when I was in the hospital. We have Insight here. These are within London. And Family Service Thames Valley. Now, a lot of people develop drug dependencies because they can't afford the therapy session. And they don't have a religious community or a belief system. And so they end up where they are. Affordable for all. No one is refused based on inability to pay. There's therapy, and then there's actually doing something. I'm a firm believer in behavioral modification. And delayed gratification. Because some of these abstract ideas about psychology have corrupted the purity of our social relationships and how easy life used to be. We have become extremely judgmental. This is how I feel. And again, we've explained with the history of propaganda that, well, the dopamine response to propaganda, again, the fear tactics, the shock and the awe. Because disaster capitalism never went away. And adrenaline is a drug, as we classify it, a naturally occurring drug. It's one of the chemical signals in the fight or flight response. Fight, flight, or freeze. And we have to understand that there are environmental contaminants and that there's inbreeding. Inbreeding exists, because of the fallout of eugenics programs. And we cannot escape who we are and what our heritage is, because the older that I get and the more information that I learn, the more I support the position of epigenetic transmission of generational memories. Everybody has a natural inclination because it's in the DNA. Some women are just meant to be mothers, but it takes a very bright woman to be a good one. So it's Blue Monday. I think that's appropriate. I love that song. That's a great song. Now, there's this, I've noticed this recently, and it's a phenomenon that's been documented on YouTube by another video. I'm going to find it in a second here, and I'll put the link in the description. And I'm sure that if you think about it, you'll notice it too, depending on how much information and media you're taking in by the technology. Because technology doesn't make for a successful person or a successful civilization. Character does. And when the wires are crossed on purpose to accelerate the fall of a civilization, because the perception is that they were spiritually corrupted and that they would not stop unless intervened. Religious beliefs and spiritual action, so fatwas. Experienced psychonauts will tell you this, and that there's entities and there's beings, and we talk about throughout human history the seat of human consciousness and the soul. But again, third law of thermodynamics is that energy doesn't dissipate, it only changes form. And that the spark, right? The chain reaction of a symbiotic relationship, so that all of these individualized, specialized organ cells, which live in symbiosis to go about this existence. Buddhists will say about children, or anyone that believes in reincarnation, you have to teach them, because they don't remember what it's like to be in a body. And that's why they're so clumsy. And that's why children try to kill themselves. It's because they don't remember. I learned to torture other people from the best in the world. Teenage girls. Because there's power of suggestion, and then there's coercion and sabotage. If you know as much information as I do, then you'll pick up the pieces of this video and have a conversation with someone else. Because this phenomenon, this where people are losing their hearing, or they're losing their ability to perceive the enunciation. And even then, on the other side, is because of this interference, this auditory interference that is destroying your ability to process the English language. Because there's more than one way to destroy a civilization. And all the answers are in the oral tradition. It's in the language. All the colloquialisms and the other things that these social groups, like unique regional identities, have sought out to destroy. Because extreme uniformity is psychotic. So what I'm trying to say is this correlates back to extraordinary warfare. And since that paper was published, there's many different organizations or ad hoc activist groups whom have read this, and they become militias. But they don't have enough information to make the correct decisions. And so they make an enemy of themselves. And that's where the infighting starts. Because no one knows what's going on, and everybody's fried. There's a great danger in too much spirituality, in prioritizing the higher levels of existence versus the corporal form. Because when there's too many chiefs, there's not enough Indians. I could really go for some Mary J right now. That'd be nice. But I'm all out. It's going to be hilarious when the rest of humanity wakes up to the fact that, we live in a post-internet epoch. This is basically telepathy. Once the technology gets to a certain point where the video uploads are instantaneous, it's telepathy. It's technological telepathy. Develop ways of seeing without seeing, hearing without hearing, and speaking without speaking. Okay? Because as it was with oral tradition and back in those days with the symbology that was used to communicate, because people were illiterate. You see? Don't ever forget that the key to power is knowledge. And no one can ever take that away from you. So Godspeed, all of you. Good luck. Godspeed on your next rabbit hole. Figuring out how they're exactly doing this and how they're modulating the sound waves with interference and because if you think about noise canceling headphones, it's the same principle. The brain with cochlear implants can be used as a conductor for sound. Those tinfoil hatters of the past were not crazy. They were very smart and perceptive. And again, you can actually compose a transistor in a dental filling or an antenna because of the composition. Like say a ceramic with a nickel silver mixture. You know, that's the point of the fillings, and even the gold fillings. You know, and again, the wisdom teeth and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things that we've been doing to our bodies over the years with elective surgeries and traditions of the past, or just where some people just they can't they can't do it. That's why we have the surgeries, right? We're supposed to have moved past that level of evolution where we were more agrarian and more vegetarian, and thus requiring the extra molar. Yep. Anyways, have a good Monday.